Welcome to the Solomon Show.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope everyone is doing well. On today's panel, we have Gabriel, and we also have your one and only host, Solomon. Now let's get right into it. We're back for more with the Summer Sessions Getaway. I know it's hotter than hell outside, but that doesn't mean we still can't have a good time. Let's start off with the quote of the day. Today's quote of the day is, once you carry your own water, you will learn the value of every drop. Now it's story time. Hi, everybody. For our first story, this person writes, a 1.5, so 1.5 year relationship, known each other for 2 years. Is it enough to know if you want to marry them? I think when you're young, you can say yes to that. But when you're older, you're wiser and you realize, well, also when you're older, you have more investments in your life, more assets, and more stuff to lose. So if you're older in life, then 1.5 years is way too soon. If you're young, like in college or just graduated, then maybe, but you have to make sure you do your homework. And at that age, you sure as heck better meet your in laws and the entire family from the other side and make sure everything is good. And the best way to do that is to have an extended vacation, like a week or something, with your in laws, or do like a big family trip. That would be the good way to know. So let's see. So this guy is 32, the girl is 26. 32 guy, 26 female. She's saying that the boyfriend, okay, let me say first. Okay, so he's 32, you're 26, is a little bit older in life. Unless the family is really good and everything, I would still do background and credit check just to make sure, because older than you, he's in third decade of life. You may want to make sure first. Let's see. And if you have assets and stuff, I would always do prenup. If you want to know more about prenups, watch previous episodes. Okay, let's see. So they've recently discussed more deeply about our future and especially about marriage. We have been together officially for close to 2 years and know each other for a total of 2.5 years. I am in no rush to get married, but I do know that eventually I want to get married. I personally think that we are very compatible, but the only issue is that he is planning to move back to his hometown to be closer to his family in the near future, and I have expressed that I'm open to it, but only if we get engaged and eventually married. So then it sounds like he's making some life changes, and you yourself are pressuring him into the marriage thing. So it's actually you that's pressuring him. Hmm. So this is kind of on you then. Let's continue on first before I respond any further. So she writes, he told me that he is currently thinking about whether he sees himself being married. He says that he feels I am compatible for him, but due to our geography, I would need to move to his hometown if we are to be married. I'm 100% fine with it as I've been there multiple times and I see myself living there. I know marriage is a huge commitment and I too am thinking about it. What is a healthy expectation? What happens if he decides to move back and we aren't ready for marriage yet, but want to continue our relationship? I think it's okay for you guys to be where you guys are at right now. I think it's okay to be engaged, but I don't think you should get married yet. because moving somewhere else is a huge thing and it would test your guys' relationship. I don't think it makes sense to like solidify a marriage just yet, especially when this is your idea and you just don't know. What if you move, you've been there a few times, fine. It's one thing to vacation somewhere a couple times and you like it because you're in vacation mode, but it's completely different to live there, right? I think you're rushing way too fast in life. You're very young. Okay, you sound very in love with this guy. That's great and everything, but you need to know somebody thoroughly. You need to know somebody's family thoroughly first before you do anything. So that's my advice to you. But just be careful. Okay, marriage. What do I say on the Solomon Show? The biggest decision of your life is who you marry. Why? Because, say it with me, guys, you should know by now, because it can either make your life or break your life. You're pressuring him, he's doing it, but you got to do your homework first. Be real careful, girl. You're super young. You're 26. There's no need to rush. It is not a race. This is the rest of your life. Be careful. Take your time. Enjoy your youth. Have fun. Marriage doesn't solve anything, marriage doesn't fix anything. Okay? So be careful. That's my advice to you. Keep us posted. Good luck. Take care.
Now it's time for another quote of the day. Today's quote of the day is: anyone genuinely content with their own life will never waste time bad-mouthing yours. Always keep that in mind. Now it's story time.
All right, what's our last story?
My coworker took a joke too far, and
Uh
now her employment status is left up to me. Help.
oh. Oh my gosh. Okay, I have to tell you a story. I know you're gonna like this one. Okay. So once upon a time at work, I had a really cool group of people I was working with, right? And so they decided that they were gonna get, is it a corn snake? The one that's like red with like white and yeah, see I know something about animals. A corn snake, and they're gonna put it in my white coat pocket, right? And see, the thing about me is I'm super
It's a real
OCD.
animal?
No, it's a fake one, a rubber one, to try to scare me. The thing about me is I am super OCD. Number one, number two, I am the king of pranks. Like, do not try to prank me because I'll prank you all day, every day. Like, you do not want to go to prank war with me. Okay, just saying. So, anyways, they decided that they were going to try to get me. So I noticed it right away, and I was like, okay. I picked up my coat. I kind of tested it casually, so it doesn't look like I know what's going on. And I'm like, yep, it's fake. So, anyways, I put my white coat on, and one of the girls, she's like 500 pounds, okay? She's sitting on a high stool that's like living out its last minutes, okay? And so I just put on my white coat and I said, oh my gosh, there's a snake, it's attacking me. And I threw it at her and she screamed and the stool gave up its last seconds of life. And I think her back did as well when she fell. So the prank spun back around on them. So be careful playing with your coworkers. You never know. One may be a seasoned pranker themselves. Let's see what happens in this case.
I could really use some advice here. And I'm sorry if this is long, but I've talked about this to death for the last few days. This is the first time really spelling it out, and it's a lot. I, 35 male, have an issue with my coworker, 38 female, that got out of hand. Now, whether or not she stays employed with our company is my decision and the final word. I work
Oh,
I work in a small financial services firm. 8 full-time staff and a few other part-timers. No more than a dozen of us on any given day. It's a very tight-knit firm. It's a family business that gained some success and now hired me and my coworker. Call her Sally, as the next generation to eventually take the reins. Sally definitely appreciates my sarcasm. where the rest of the office is a little bit more reserved. She herself is always playing little pranks here and there. Around Christmas time, she moved figurines in my office, aka Elf on the shelf.
Oh gosh, I hate those things. They scare me. Don't
Sh-
use that against me. Because your elf will be broken and decapitated. I'm telling you right now, I don't like elves.
She once changed my screensaver to an inside joke meme. The worst offense was that she hid behind the curtain as I was walking into the office and jump scared the living shit out of me. Whatever, that's the flavor of jokes I'm talking about. Getting to the point, I come in this past Friday. I have a family portrait of my wife and kids, then two little pictures of each of my sons in the desk. In Sharpie, each of my sons now have little Hitler mustaches.
Oh, you cannot. That is taking it way too far. Oh, no, 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 no. That's very offensive.
As a bonus, there's a little swastika drawn on one of the pictures as well.
You cannot. That is so offensive. Are you crazy? That's not funny.
I was floored. I'm still floored. I knew it had to be Sally, but it felt weird. So I asked my boss to pull the security footage from Thursday when I left to Friday morning. There aren't cameras in the individual offices, but there are in the hallways and common areas. Sure enough, Friday, half an hour before I arrive, here comes Sally into my office and comes out a minute later. I gave my boss the picture, explained that I don't know what this is about and I don't want to be involved, and left him to handle it. This is a definition of above my pay grade. For context, I am Jewish.
Oh my. Okay, first of all, with what's going on in the world, this is not funny. Like, this is really happening. And then the person is Jewish and you something like that is completely crossing the line. Jeez Louise, you can't draw a star or a Hello Kitty or a smiley face or put like some cute bluey stickers or K-pop Demon Hunter stuff on there. You have to do something like that. Come on.
The people I work with know that I'm Jewish. We're not Orthodox, but we do practice in our own way. In the office, I don't advertise it because it's still scary times. I don't keep a mezuzah on the floor, and I don't have the Israeli flag anywhere on display.
Okay, don't laugh. What's a mezuzah?
I think it's the rug that they pray on. I don't
Well, I don't know. Comment below if you know. I know who Medusa is, but I don't know what that thing is. Okay.
Anyway, my boss and the other partners were talking to Sally for hours and then she was sent home. I kind of thought that that was it. And then she would clean her stuff over the weekend. But then I'm called in to talk to the partners and they're asking me if I thought I could work with her. And that she was saying that her and I have this ongoing rapport and that she thought I would think it's funny. To be fair, two of the three partners and the founder are all of the opinion that this is inexcusable and she needs to be gone. One outlier wanted to get my take on it because just in case that it wasn't a big deal to me. I basically said that I'm not okay with anti Semitism and this is not a joke.
Yeah.
The end.
Yeah.
Nothing was decided on Friday. They told me to sleep on it, and whatever I decide this week will be the decision. It really pissed me off because if I was a big firm like JPM or Morgan Stanley, this would be zero tolerance.
Yeah.
You're gone.
Hmm.
GTFO situation. But because this is a family smaller operation, they're leaving it up to me.
Time out. I would tell you that's not true. That is not true. I'm just saying from personal experience, that is not true. And it's unfortunate because, yes, it says in black and white that is zero tolerance, but I'm telling you from experience that is not true. And I don't understand how this is allowed, but I'm telling you it's not true. So don't think of it like that. But at least be grateful that you have the final say and they're going to back you up on what you say. At least give them that. Because I'm telling you from my life experience, that is not always the case. So at least you're gonna have your happy ending, and I'm happy for you. Unfortunately, that's not the same story for other people. So you gotta look at it that way. Hmm.
They're leaving it to me, which I guess can be interpreted as them giving me agency, but it just feels inappropriate. Especially because over the weekend, I get a call from Sally's fiance about how she's stressed about her wedding and needed to vent.
Oh my
And
gosh.
she didn't mean anything by it, whatever the F has that to do. Sally wrote me a massive manifesto that was half apology, half accusatory
What?
of potentially disrupting their livelihood.
What the? Okay, okay, then yes, that tilts the scale completely. She has no accountability. Are you serious? You did something. If anything, it should be nothing but I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you. Da, 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 I didn't mean it like that. Da, da, da. But now she's doing this. Hell no. Then she's got to go. So she is not sorry, and this will not be the last time. Oh my gosh. So she meant what she did then, because honestly, when you think about it, like that's not something you joke about. Joking about, like I said, you can put a sticker on the picture or whatever. First of all, you don't mess with people's families. But I mean, you want to joke, you put a sticker, da 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 da. So for you to actually draw, I mean, I could just imagine if I drew something like that, my mom would probably smash my hand to pieces, and rightfully so. Like you don't do stuff like that. It's symbols of hate. There's no room for hate in this world, at least not anymore. At least not with my show. Uh huh.
I considered linking it, but it's got to be 5,000 words of run on sentences and stream of consciousness. It's just terrifying to behold. My firm left this to me to make a decision this week, and I haven't brought it up yet. But I'm sure as SHIT not going to wait until Friday. I've all made up my mind. But because so much time has passed and it wasn't an immediate cut and dry decision, I'm left feeling like I'm being the a-hole for deciding her fate.
No, she just decided it for you. No way.
I thought I'd see what Reddit says on the subject. I don't think much can change my mind at this point. Now, I feel like I'm overthinking it. Is it worth continuing more discussion and even considering a second chance? Or should I just go with my gut and tell my bosses that she needs to be gone? Bonus to anyone in financial services who will be willing to offer extra advice for me. I enjoy a lot of great benefits working with a smaller shop than I would if I was with one of the big wirehouses. Better WLB, competitive pay, fast tracked for the trajectory that I want. But this is a major red flag that they just didn't have a protocol for this sort of thing. Is this worth leaving an otherwise great job?
Okay, look. This world has gotten too comfortable with hatred. There should be zero place for it, period. What that girl did was symbols of hate. She brought up a history of hate, and she put this on your family. So it's not just her being rah, 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 I'm hateful. She's like branding your family with negative energy, with negative stuff. Okay? You don't mess with people's family pictures. That in itself is hate. And I don't know why you're second guessing this. Yes, it's messing with a livelihood. I can understand that part. But when she gives you a letter basically justifying what she did, then there's just zero excuse. I'm going to give you a real life story, okay? So, once upon a time at one of my jobs, there was a Korean guy who was saying stuff. And one of the employees there was black. And he used the N word, not at the black employee, but just talking about somebody else. And she calls me up and asks me, should I report it? What should I do? And I told her, I said, that is a word of hate. There has to be a stop to the hate. If we kept If we keep letting stuff like this slide by, it's going to keep growing and growing. We need to put our foots down. We've become way too desensitized to hatred. No, there's no room for hatred. Not in this world, not in this lifetime, no more. If not for yourself, then for the future. No more hate. You need to report it. And she said, but this person may be fired. And I said, again, for the future, for the children, for the world, you need to do your part. That's all I can say to you. It's up to you. But that's my advice. Same thing here. This is my advice to you. If anything, for your family, this is what she did to your family. Okay? Right now it's mustaches and swastikas. One day it's going to be bullets. Are you going to be okay with that? You need to think about that. If not for your family, then for all your people, for all the people. It doesn't matter what race, what color, what religion. For everybody, no more hate. It ends here. You have the power. You are lucky that in your company, they're giving you the power. Use it for the good. Use it for the better. Okay? Please. Please. All right. Good luck to you. Keep us posted.
Now it's time for another quote of the day. Today's quote of the day is, everyone loves you when you let things slide. But once you start setting boundaries and holding people accountable, suddenly you're the difficult one. Now it's story time.
All right, guys. So we have an update. Please, good news. Please, good news.
I don't know how closely people follow this kind of things for updates, and I also don't know if anybody cares. But this all came to a head and reached a fairly predictable resolution earlier today. First off, thank you all for the complete outpouring of support and advice. I read every comment, even the ones telling me that I was being a PUSSY and the ones who thought I was a BOT, a bot.
Okay, hold on. Anybody that is calling you those kind of names or any names in general, then you know they support that kind of hatred, and all the more reason for you to speak up, because this kind of stuff should not be allowed. It's not cool at all. All the more reason to let this person go.
Many of you were very helpful in reframing the situation in a different way than I had considered, and definitely helped me out. I've been
You're
I've been
welcome.
I've been taking it easy from home the past few days. This morning, I reached out to the partners and said that I'm ready to talk about it and I'm swinging by at 1. I think one of the top comments said something to the effect of, you know what you have to do and what you want to do. So that's what my plan was. Go in there and say, Sally has to go. And it's embarrassing for all parties that this has gone on this long. Ahead of the meeting, I also forwarded the manifesto that Sally sent me as icing on the cake.
Yes.
Someone else put it really well that I'm not deciding her fate, but deciding mine. If I really want to see myself in a leadership role at this company, how could I possibly envision a future working alongside an FM bigot? Showing grace is for something that is forgivable, in my opinion. This one is unforgivable.
Yeah.
I get to the office.
I wouldn't say unforgivable. It's just zero tolerance. Zero tolerance.
I get to the office. Her stuff is already cleared out. This is a good sign. I get in to talk to the 4 people in charge, and they apologize to me that this happened and that they let Sally go the day before. I'm restricted.
So they make the decision without even getting your answer, which is fine. Which is fine. They probably came to the senses, because this is going to be a huge lawsuit right here. You got to protect yourself. Big company, small company, you got to protect yourself. If word gets out about this, nobody's want to do business with you.
They let her go and restricted her access from the building and parking garage. Furthermore, they went on to say They we shouldn't even have thought to put you in that position,
Oh,
and
good.
that wasn't the intention that they were going for. Even though that was a relief to hear, I did feel a little bit backpedaling. So I pushed back a bit and said that if the majority of you didn't agree with, let's call him Jim, why not say so when we talked about this? And why leave me that day just to think about it? That's really effed up.
They made a mistake. They apologized. Come on. Nobody's perfect.
We went back and forth for a bit. The resolution here, as a few people guessed in the comments, was that they wanted to give me some say in it as a respect to my future role and give me a say in a big decision. I'm still mulling over if I think that's just a BS line that they're feeding me, but I'm willing to give a benefit of the doubt for now. It is a well intentioned group here, but they're all advisors. They are great at money management and planning and client development, but there aren't any HR minds here. And when the team was just five guys and gals getting started in the business, they didn't necessarily need that role. But as we're growing and expanding, they will need to fill those roles. I told them as much. Being like we're great at what we do, but especially as we add younger folks to the company, we need to have a dedicated role to protect the employees and protect the company. I went on to say that I'm glad to see that Sally has backed up and got out, but I could have gone a different way if I was a different kind of person. I'm fine with how that bit resolved. The most pessimistic version of myself is saying maybe they didn't immediately fire her because they thought I was going to quit on the spot and they didn't want to lose two good employees on the same day. Maybe there's no merit here, not sure.
I think your line of thinking is completely off right now. Like, that's really weird. I think because you work for a small company, or maybe you just don't have a lot of life experience or work experience. But I'm telling you, like, you got the rainbow ride in life. I'm telling you from experience. I've worked many jobs in my life, and they don't get happy, and you don't get happy endings like this. It's very rare. It's very sad, but that's the reality right now where the world is at. Like, I've seen people do stuff that is just mind blowing and they're still around. Like, it is ridiculous. Okay. You got a happy ending. You need to like be grateful and appreciate what you got. You appreciate your job, appreciate your coworkers. People do make mistakes. We're all human, but at least they apologize to you and you got your happy ending. Like, you need to stop. Try working somewhere else and see if that's gonna be the case. Oh my gosh. I've had people make anti-gay comments, this and that, and they're still around. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I was in the same boat, and they were still around. And if anything, I got retaliated against for reporting it and stuff like this. I don't know what you're complaining about.
It is one red flag in a sea of green ones, but but definitely enough to keep in the back of my mind for the future. And hey, if they want me to take more ownership and leadership, well, I'm going to start figuring out how we can get an HR person or director into this company, whether it's a new hire or outsourced.
That's fine. That part is fine.
I'm going to educate myself on this and take on that hiring process. Why not? One nice takeaway is that as soon as I called them today to let them know that I was coming in, they must have reached out to my wife right away, who sent them a load of family photos. Unfortunately, the finished product wasn't ready, but they showed me what was going to be delivered, a big family mural to hang on my wall. It was definitely a nice gesture, and not one mustache or swastika.
Okay, you shouldn't be joking about that either. Hello.
The Sally of it all definitely has me freaked out still. I did reach out to a friend who's a lawyer, and she said that she would file a cease and desist since she and her husband to be both reached out since she and her husband to be,
Mm,
comma, both reached out to me on personal channels.
mm-mm.
She encouraged me to also get a restraining order saying that when there's kids involved, even indirectly, that you cannot be too careful.
That's a very good point. Yes, that's a very excellent point.
The scariest thing on that vein is that this manifesto that she wrote is 8 pages, single
What?
spaced.
Oh no, yeah, no, then this is very alarming.
And the amount of time that it must have taken her to write that thing, it had to be hours and hours,
Oh
right?
my gosh.
And I'm even giving a huge benefit of the doubt. Maybe this is how she processes emotions and vents. The effing balls onto her to find my personal email and fire that off. Get the F out of here. That is some severe mental health issue.
She's claiming it's mental health. I'm so tired of hearing that excuse. Everybody
No,
mental
this
health.
person's saying that the other person has mental health issues if they're writing 8 pages single spaced.
Okay. Yeah, that's like a college essay. Like, are you kidding me? Oh my gosh.
Well, who has that kind of time?
Even in grad school, I remember people were like making fun of me. Oh, your paper is only 3 pages single space. Mine is 10, 20 pages. And I'm like, look, BS is not part of my religion. It's not part of my character. I just give you the point and that's it. I don't have time to do all this flowery stuff. I got work to go to after this. So I just got to cut straight to the point. And I got my A and that person got their F in plagiarism. So, and they're telling me, oh, do you think this is plagiarism? And I just flipped it to a random page on the page 15 of 20, and I read 3 sentences of the first paragraph, and I asked them, what does this mean that you just wrote? I don't know. It's plagiarism. Here you go. Bye. Whatever. Is that it?
Thank you all for the advice and guidance.
No problem.
And if anyone has any thoughts on directing me to a good HR person or source of information to get started here, please hit me up. There's a lot of companies that do HR.
There's a lot of companies do HR, but I know some few people. Message me. I'll give you their names and contact info. Good luck to you. Take care. Glad you got the happy ending. Stop being ungrateful. Seriously, I'm telling you, really, I'm very happy for you. This is something that has haunted me my whole life, really. Just being honest with you. Be happy you got your happy ending. I wasn't so lucky, okay? So just shut up and be grateful. Just saying. Take care.
Now it's time for Solomon's Words of Wisdom, Summer Sessions Edition.
Hi, everybody. So, in today's Words of Wisdom, I wanted to touch base again on this most recent story where this writer wrote in about him experiencing a form of hatred. Okay. I hate to have to bring this up, but this is the reality, whether we want to face it or not. This is the reality, okay? There is hatred being more and more prevalent and more boom in our faces, okay? Unfortunately, before the hatred will kind of creep out from under the cracks, under the rocks, through the cracks, and kind of nibble at your toes, but it's just boom, right in your face. Or in this case, on the faces of the family members of this guy at his place of work. Okay. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I want to say embarrassing, but just kind of, it just sucks. Okay. I don't know how to put it. It just freaking sucks. So let me tell you, my mom has been telling me for like the past decade, because obviously we've had some new people in charge. She was saying that I've been living in this country for decades, and when I first came to this country, she said, I experienced a lot of racism, a lot of prejudice, right? But through time, through the years, it got a lot better. But she said, we have completely turned around full circle, and the hatred is worse than it has ever been before. She would tell me stories that people, white people, would follow her, okay, and make all kinds of crazy comments like, go back to where you come from, go back to where you came from, we don't want Mexicans here, da 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 da. My mom is not Mexican, okay? Not that there's anything wrong with being Mexican. My mom is 100% full Chinese. So it's just so crazy. But the thing is, too, like, these are young people telling her this. Like, these are high school age students. I mean, they will fall. She told me one story where they were following her in a monster truck. She's walking the dog and they're riding alongside her in a monster truck with the window rolled down, giving her a nasty look. So she turns and she gives them a nasty look back. And she asked them, "Can I help you with something?" And they said, "You need to go back to where you came from." And she said, "Let me tell you something. I've been a citizen living here longer than you've been alive. This is my country, so you go back to where you came from. This is my country." Stuff like that. I'm bringing this up because, I've told my mom too, you need to record these things. It's all just hearsay. In court, it's all just hearsay, but not just that. You need proof, right? If you're going to call the police, show the police, you need proof because it's just hearsay. Because unfortunately, I guarantee you there's going to be a lot more white people getting together saying, "Oh no, this is actually the narrative." But if you have the black and white proof, then you can prove that you actually were telling the truth, okay? And nothing against white people. I've dated white people before. I have friends that are white people. I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of hatred going around, okay? Even filming this special, I didn't want to say it in front of Gabriel, but the looks that I have gotten, like, I haven't experienced that kind of hatred, like, so full on blatant hatred from young people. Maybe not high school, but about 21. So same age as me, giving me these crazy death stares. Okay? And I'm just like, you're so young. How can your heart be so bad, so evil at such a young age? I guess it's a rhetorical question. Obviously, they learn it from the parents. But it's one thing for me to joke around, which I'm not joking around, and say, you know what, if you don't like us, then don't use our products. Don't wear our clothes. Don't use our talent. Don't exploit our talents. But you're too young to have this much hatred in your heart. Like, life is tough. You're going to have a real tough life. Because that negativity isn't going to get you anywhere but a first class ticket to hell. So in any case, guys, for gay people, my Pride series doesn't come out for a while now, for not till next year. But please be careful out there, guys. If you see something bad happening, record it and report it. You need to go to social media or whatever, but you need to, the news, blast it out there because we need to be aware. We need to be in the know. It's not okay. Okay? Like, this is really starting to get to the point where it's scary. Gabriel used to tell me, "Oh, what if we, move out of the country, go back to my country to live, or da-da-da." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, whatever, la, 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 la." But, if this is the way that we're headed to, then maybe it's not such a bad idea. I don't know. I'll let that marinate some more in my head. But just, if you're a minority, or if you're not the norm, the prevalent crowd or whatever, just be careful and look out for each other. More so than ever, we need to look out for each other, look out for our neighbors,
and just be there for each other, because that's the way we're going to beat this, is together. So let's do this, guys. Really, like, yikes. Today kind of scared me. I didn't want to tell Gabriel, but it kind of scared me. Like, not for my safety, but just, really, world? This is what we're doing now? I don't know. Whatever, but fingers crossed things get better sooner rather than later. So I just want to send positive energy out there. Thank you guys for supporting me, for supporting my show. Please spread the word. We need to help people out there, especially the older people, the people that are shy, the people that are the underdogs. Like, we got to protect them too. Like, let's link up, guys. Link up, okay? I hope you guys are all safe. You made it home safe. Relax. Enjoy the rest of your day and positive energy, okay? Take care, and I'll see you next time.
That's it for this episode. Thank you so much for all your love and support. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you next time. Don't forget to always be kind to one another. Take care.